about business.
Serious about business.
The patrons of the 14th Regional Investment and Capital Market Conference have gotten the opportunity to sit back a little and unwind as the annual networking session takes place. Business Access TV is here to bring you some of the highlights.
I just want to take this time out to introduce our managing director, Mrs. Street Forest, the lovely. She's going to come forward and give us just a few words on what has been happening. And of course, to continue to, tell us that we need to enjoy ourselves tonight. Because yes, we're talking business, we're talking about investment, we're talking about building a better nation, a better region, a better world. But Mrs. Street Forest, please come and grace the microphone. Thank you, ma'am. Looking lovely, as usual. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Let me extend a warm welcome to you again at this function. I am really going to be very short because what I want to really do is to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for supporting us for the last 14 years. There are persons here who are new to the event, some who have been with us for the last 14 years. I cannot stop by. I have to continue to thank our sponsors, our participants, and all the persons who have made this possible for us. As the evening wears on, I just want you to enjoy yourself, let your hair down, and ensure that we do what we need to do in terms of networking, meeting new people from all over the globe, and just enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Well, my name is Orlando Soto. I'm the CEO of Acobo Broker Dealer from Costa Rica. We're looking to list a mutual fund, real estate, in the Jamaican Stock Exchange. This is my first time at this event. I really congratulate you guys for the 15th anniversary and also for the spirit that the event has over people, over companies that wanted to be listed on the exchange. And in general, to the CEO, she's wonderful. I think you have a gold mine in Jamaica, and for many years to come, and good progress to Jamaican companies.
So separate and apart from the Jamaican market being the best stock market in the world, what led you to thinking about listing in Jamaica?
Well, besides that, Jamaican broker dealers, good partnerships with them. They're good people, very sophisticated. I found very good partners. Very interesting market, not only because of the market, but also because of the people.
Which stock exchange is the best performing stock exchange for 2018?
Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Is she correct? Oh my goodness, you are correct. We have to thank every single member of the stock exchange because we could not do it without you. Thanks for being the best performing stock exchange in the world.
So how was 2018 for your business?
Well, 2018 for my business was good. We decided to come to Jamaica because Jamaica imports about $1 billion a year in produce to service their resort community. I live in Las Vegas. Las Vegas imports about $2 billion a year of produce from California and Mexico. So we decided to come down here and grow produce and service the resort community. The investment conference has been great. Met a lot of people that I already have known, and then was able to meet some people that I hadn't known. So it's been very, very beneficial.
Is it your first year here?
No, I've lived between Montego Bay and Kingston for about 7 years, and moved back to the States in 2004, and I'm back now.
So what can we expect from your business for 2019?
You can expect us to launch in 2019 and grow produce, supply resorts, and expand and continue to grow.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Creating change, building a future, caring hands, giving back, touching hearts, and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
We go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Dancers feel live good than another. If you fight that, me picking out a feather. Don't bad mind my brother when them a go the leather. Money man that go get the cheddar. If you not like that, hold them there, hold them there, hold them there. Hold them there, pull it up.
How have you been enjoying this evening's proceedings?
God, it has been fabulous. I've been having some wonderful opportunities to network. Just congratulating Mrs. Marlene Street Forest on the amazing job that she's been doing with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, how she's effectively led the team, you know, just pulling out the best out of the people that she has around her, and how she's been, you know, managed to keep the stock exchange on top, and just getting to know some other persons, some other players in the market, like Carlos from NASDAQ, and many other persons who are here tonight.
So have you been at the conference overall?
Oh yes, I came here yesterday. I was here all day today, and tomorrow I'll be on. I'll be speaking in the afternoon, and I'll be here all day as well. It's a staple event for me. Like every year, I look forward to it. I mean, of the 14 years, I think I may have done 10 out of the 14 years. Yeah.
So you can basically say that this is certainly something that you have done in your calendar for every year.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. It has to be. Like, it's one of those events that get you started for the year. and you get to meet some of the people that you will need to help you to win all the plans that you have. So you identify all the persons who are there and say, yeah, you know what, let's partner, let's connect. So yeah.
Do you have a business?
Oh yes, so my original business is Pato Apparel, but I have formed out since then the Entrepreneurial You, which is a leadership and entrepreneurial brand. So we have a podcast, the Entrepreneurial You podcast, where I interview people like Seth Godin, Richard Branson, and so much more. And then there's Leadercast, Leadercast Kingston, Leadercast Women, and Leadercast Kingston is happening May 10 this year, so look out for it.
All right, so tell us, how have you been enjoying this evening's function?
It has been absolutely amazing. The vibe is nice, the food is good, and just to be at a function where it's rigorous, it's talking about figures all day, but just to let your hair down and just enjoy yourself and interact with the visitors from all over the world that's here to experience the stock exchange function this year.
Is their first year here?
Yes, it's my first year, and I'm having a great time.
What brought you here?
Well, I wanted to see the launch of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange because as an entrepreneur in the social enterprise space, it has been long anticipated and long fought for to see a social stock exchange. And I have friends like Defcan and Alpha who were part of that, so I really wanted to see the launch.
Certainly a good opportunity for social projects to get funding, and funding an issue for social projects generally in Jamaica?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just wanted to note that in terms of the understanding of what social enterprise is, there has been a lacking because social enterprise, they don't only serve a social cause, but they're also enterprising, as the term says. So they make their own money, and when funds are invested in social enterprises, it's to make further social impact and to find other ways to be enterprising and make more money. So it's amazing that Jamaica has woken up and have smelled the coffee, because there are social stock exchanges in other parts of the world. And I think with this focus, then we can look at being number one more year. So just like 2015 and now 2018. And now we're looking at social value. So I think we have woken up, we have smelled the coffee, and the best is yet to come for the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Be sunshine when I look at you. Just a thing I can't explain. Just the things that you do. And if you get lonely, just call me and take a second to give to me that magic you make every day. Love me your own special way. Melt on my heart away with a smile. Take time to tell me you really care, and we'll share tomorrows forever. I'll always love you forever.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the feel found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker. Game technician.
Animator.
Good job. Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Okay, what year did the Jamaica Pegasus first host the conference? That is the investment conference. You tell me.
I'm going to go with 2010.
You are absolutely right. Pleased to take this box from my hand because it's so heavy. On a clapping.
Also with me is a good friend of mine, Camario Davis. How are you, sir?
I am good. How's it going?
It's been going well for me, but how's it been going for you? You're enjoying this evening's function?
I am. It's really good. You know, anything Jamaican is always enjoyable. I just said it's really enjoyable. I mean, really enjoying myself tonight.
What does Jamaica being the best stock market mean to you?
It means investment. It means more money in pocket for me. It means more money in pocket for the Jamaican people.
But as a young person though, do you think young people generally should be concerned about stocks and stock market performance, that kind of thing? Is that important?
In all honesty, I do think that they need to play a part in stock exchange because it is highly important as it relates to you creating a job for yourself. So generating income as a young person is very important. And so I think that young people really need to focus on the stock market to make some money.
Especially being that the youth unemployment rate is, though it's trending downward, it's still particularly high. So it's something that you think they should definitely look into, correct?
Most definitely, most definitely. We always want to venture into the traditional careers. We want to be doctors, lawyers, teachers, whatever the sort. But we need to start thinking about how to create employment for ourselves. Why not invest on the stock market? Why not invest into Walmart? Why not invest in Jamaica Boilers, Sagicor, whatever it is that you feel you need to invest in. It's a really good opportunity, and I think young people of Jamaica need to start focusing there.
Hey, me say me love you like a free Wi-Fi. Me and you together like a pizza and rice. Without you, me can't sleep at night. Cause me fi be your husband, you fi be my wife. Why? Me say me love you like a free Wi-Fi. Me and you together like a pizza and rice. Why? Without you, me can't sleep at night. Promise you would never leave my side. Me no need no password to get no access. Anytime you come around, instantly you connect like Wi-Fi pan. One of me gadget and you're full of energy like a Magnum tonic wine. Me fascinated by everything you do. Looking at me future, girl, let me see you too. To the altar, me ready figure bring you go. The ratings you're taller than a pinnacle.
So, Mrs. Street Forest, 14 years of celebration of knowledge exchange. How has it been for you this year?
It has been fantastic. You recognize that it has been really wonderful with the participants, the sponsors, and really those persons who have presented. We've had all the prime ministers of Barbados, prime ministers of Jamaica, past prime ministers, and they have given us quite a bit to think about. And what they have also given us is some amount of ingredients to go forward and do better. So I think that now we are poised to put in the necessary provisions in order to grow the capital market further than it is.
Historic launch this year, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Tell us about how the environment is feeling about that, how persons are reacting to that.
persons are reacting positively to it. Persons who want to give have called. Persons who want to list projects have also called. It has been so positive. Persons have asked exactly what this is, and we are going to have to explain it and explain it again. But we have no problem with that because we know that the social stock exchange will contribute to the growth and development of the third sector, the social sector. And we know that this growth is going to be positive for the entire Jamaica.
So finally, what can we expect for the 15th staging?
Well, the 15th staging, we should really allow the 14th to be finished. But we know that the 15th staging each year, we get better and better. And the 15th staging, we want to embrace more of the region, we want to embrace more of the world. And definitely, as we do with each year, we say what has been achieved from the past. And naturally, for the 15th staging, we will want to report back to you to say, look, we have gained and garnered this amount of funds for the social exchange, and this is what it has done for Jamaica. So we want to report back to you the success that we have had for the 14th.
Certainly looking forward to it, and we hope that then Jamaica will still be the top stock exchange in the world. Thank you so much, Mrs. Street Forest.
You're most welcome.
We've come to the end of the 14th staging of the Regional Investment and Market Capital Conference's networking session. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
So Business Access TV has impacted my business pretty much, in the obvious ways. Everywhere I go, people would stop me. Are you the girl that was on Business Access TV? I love your work is amazing. Of course, business-wise, orders came in through the interview. It's our ancient Japanese technique. The interview was great because I was able to explain my process and people really understood it. The impact of you doing an interview and showcasing it on Business Access TV is priceless. There's no dollar value for that. What is there to lose? You have everything to gain. It's been an amazing experience for me, and it will be for you.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
COVID-19 has taken center stage in our lives for the past few weeks, forcing us to be very conscious about our surroundings, what we touch, how to stay safe, and I could go on and on. But have we paid as much attention to our finances and how able or ready we are to deal with this disease and its aftermath? Well, that's what today's Jamaica Magazine is all about, presenting you food for thought and opportunities you can capitalize on during this time. I'm Theodore Henry. Stay with us.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Before it was announced that Jamaica had any confirmed case of the coronavirus, COVID-19, persons were stocking up on items. And after the official report, the buying increased, almost to the point of hysteria. With this rush on establishments, we must ask ourselves, are we overspending? And are we buying the things we really need for the moment? Let's break it down.
With COVID-19 now in Jamaica, we are being advised to stock up on hygiene supplies that can be used to protect ourselves, as well as to have at least 2 weeks' supply of food and water in reserve. A lot of us may not have the disposable income to readily do that, at least not without tapping into a little savings we have managed to put aside. But financial experts will tell you, whatever the need, it is important not to deplete our savings, and money management is critically important. But how to do that? First, don't rush to shop, or panic shopping as they put it. Why? Because you may buy things you don't immediately need, leading to wasted spending. Next, I would say assess your home situation. Check how many persons are in the family, if there are babies, toddlers, and persons with special needs. You should then decide on the amount of available money you have to spend. Make a list of the things you need. The experts suggest at least 2 weeks' supply of basic food items and medication. To help with your shopping list, it's a good idea to work out a meal plan for the period. Next, be disciplined. Try not to divert from this meal plan too much and finish the supply early. This would mean going back to the store to spend more money. Protecting your health is priority number 1, and being smart with your expenses actually supports that. We must remember that we are not sure how long the country will be going through this pandemic. So, as best as possible, we need to ensure our money can carry us through for as long as possible and hopefully have reserves for after.
From the data, we can see that most countries will enter a phase of rapid increase in cases. However, depending on the containment measures employed and the timeliness and effectiveness of their implementation, the severity of the increase in infections can be managed downwards. Empowering citizens with information that encourages responsible personal hygiene and community health behavior, such as washing hands regularly and staying home if ill, tracing and containing infected and contact cases, that is quarantine measures, and implementing social distancing measures, gathering restrictions, for example, have real effects on slowing down and containing the spread of the virus.
It is said that by May, the country may have reached the peak of confirmed cases of COVID-19, but the recovery process and further containment measures may still be in place for a few more months. So, what else can you do to protect your financial health? A key thing is to not max out your credit card and income because you are worried that supplies will run out. Check for moratorium on mortgages and loans. Use this as a reserve cash flow instead of your pay or savings. I know it's easy to get off track with plans, but we have to be disciplined and we have to prioritize, now more than ever.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. How to wash your hands. Firstly, wet your hands. Then apply some soap. Rub your hands palm to palm. Lather the backs of your hands. Scrub between your fingers. Rub the backs of fingers on the opposing palms. Then clean your thumbs. Make sure to wash your fingernails and fingertips. Rinse your hands. Then dry with a single-use towel. Use this towel to turn off the faucet. And now your hands are clean. When to wash your hands? After coughing or sneezing, after taking public transportation, when caring for the sick, before, during, and after you prepare and eat food, after toilet use, when hands are visibly dirty, after handling animals or animal waste. An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
To contain the spread of COVID-19 and to enforce social distancing, government has instituted a work-from-home order.
There are many among us that have long mastered the concept of working from home. But for the majority, businesses and individuals alike, it's a new foreign concept. In that mix are persons whose means of earning simply does not translate to a homework environment, or so it may seem. Let's explore some options. First, if you are socially engaging and have a passion for anything, consider creating content for online. YouTube is a great platform for this. To get started, all you need is a device that can record video. A phone with a decent camera would suffice, and a subject that you're knowledgeable and passionate about. Create your own YouTube page and begin to upload. Over time, as you build an audience, you can begin to earn from ads placed on YouTube, as well as sponsorships that come directly to you. For those whose places of employment have directed them to take their work tasks home, the important thing is to ensure you remain productive. Unlike the 9-to-5 routine of the physical work environment, your home is likely to come with a lot of distractions as you try to navigate around other family members and the fact you don't have a boss physically there to check in on you. It will be important to formulate a routine that will allow you to complete the work that is required of you. Try creating a things to do list and put a timestamp on it. For example, between 9 a.m. and noon is when you will complete that report your manager has asked for. This will work more effectively if it's shared with family members, not the details, but the timelines, so they know when not to disturb you. Depending on the type of business, working from home could require access to the company's network or the transfer of data. And this brings me to my third and final point. Companies will need to put infrastructures in place to ensure their employees can access all the information and resources needed to maintain productivity in the home spaces. This may involve providing laptops with required software for connectivity. Employers will also need to institute an accountability system to check in with workers to ensure they are actually performing.
We are trying to put in place the measures, bearing in mind that it is not the intention of the government to shut down the economy. What we are trying to do is to institute the measures that we believe will inure to greater practice of social distancing, which is what is now being recommended as the most effective way of controlling the spread of COVID-19.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
Before we go any further on this journey of exploring financial health during the COVID-19 pandemic, let's examine one of the main reasons many of us will need to reassess the way we work for at least the short term. I'm talking about social distancing and why many governments are insisting on it.
Apart, but still in it together. United, though not physically. Welcome to the period of social distancing, an important method to contain transmission of the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. Social distancing keeps people from interacting closely or frequently enough to spread an infectious disease. Social distancing involves minimizing contact with people and maintaining a distance of at least 1 meter or 3 feet between you and others. It also extends to avoiding public transportation as much as possible, limiting non-essential overseas travel, working from home, and skipping public gatherings.
For persons who are particularly sociable, really you should keep down the group meetings. I know it's difficult, but please. And at a time when persons are visiting or so, the hugging and the kissing, no. As much as possible, just cut that out until COVID is gone.
Locally, schools and other gathering places such as bars, nightclubs, and similar areas of entertainment have been ordered closed. A number of large events such as sporting activities have also been cancelled. Even if persons must gather, then the social distance rule of 1 meter must be adhered to. Also, no more than 10 persons are allowed to congregate within the same space at a time. Markets, supermarkets, corner shops, restaurants, and cook shops, which remain open, should at all times do so with a limited number of persons.
Gatherings in any place shall not exceed 10 persons. And this one has to be strictly enforced.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC is also subjected to the policy and is permitted to carry seated passengers only. Likewise, taxi operators are required to carry one less passenger than they are licensed to. Social distancing is a tested and proven method to limit the spread of a virus. This strategy saved thousands of lives during both the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 and in Mexico City during the 2009 flu pandemic.
What we are trying to do is to institute the measures that we believe will inure to greater practice of social distancing, which is what is now being recommended as the most effective way of controlling the spread of COVID-19.
Please note, it is okay to go outdoors, particularly around your yard space if you do have one. Being close to the garden is especially recommended for seniors who may need to maintain exercise of the limbs. The point is not to remain indoors, but to avoid being in close contact with others. When you do leave your home, wipe down any surfaces you come in contact with, avoid touching your face, and frequently wash your hands. Here are some tips to help you maintain social distancing. When you go grocery shopping, buy as much as you can at a time to minimize the number of trips. In addition, select a time when the store is least likely to be crowded. Avoid dining out. You may opt for takeout or delivery service. If you must take public transport, do so during the off-peak hours and avoid taking vehicles that are full. At work, implement the remote work or staff rotation policy to decrease the number of persons within the same space at a time. Also consider virtual meetings.
In some places, we've seen pictures where they're conducting a meeting and they have the chairs, they have the space marked out for the chairs, so they have a little square on the floor and they're separated.
Delay trips to crowded venues like the park or malls. The best mechanism to ward off COVID-19 and other contagious viruses is to stay home. If you must venture out, practice social distancing. In addition, take a hand sanitizer with you and use it after touching surfaces and door handles.
Some persons are not comfortable with hand sanitizer, so I'm here to tell you that the hand sanitizer is just as good as soap and water. If you can get hand sanitizer, make sure you check it to see the percentage of alcohol. It shouldn't be less than 60% alcohol. We recommend 70, but sometimes it's hard to find the 70%. So if you see the hand sanitizer and it has 60% alcohol, that can work. If you can't see the concentration of alcohol, do not buy that hand sanitizer.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made several announcements on water, housing, land, human development, special economic zones, and many others. He was making his contribution to the 2020-2021 budget debate in the Houses of Parliament, and we have the highlights.
I will show you the new Jamaica that is emerging, the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise family, and retire in paradise. The economy has to can't shut down the economy. The economy has to continue, and therefore there are some strategic decisions that have to be made about just keeping the economy going.
And so, in addition to the $25 billion stimulus package announced by the finance minister, Prime Minister Andrew Holness revealed a $10 billion cushion for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. A Development Bank of Jamaica initiative, the bank will on-lend to financial institutions who will then loan MSMEs at interest rates that have been reduced by 0.75%. As of April 1, the Development Bank will make available $486 million in grants for technical assistance to MSMEs. An additional $10 billion has been set aside for innovative and industrial-type agriculture projects.
Now is the time for enterprising farmers, big or small farmers, and businessmen, big or small, to utilize idle lands, including idle sugar lands, right across Jamaica. Now more than ever, we must feed ourselves.
Over a 3-year period, 20,000 titles will be issued, amendments made to legislation governing lands, and
this program will allow persons in these communities to obtain their titles and pay the cost over time.
expansions are also expected with the special economic zones industry.
We are going to put out requests for proposals for persons to come and develop the Southlands of Caymanas.
In 2020-2021, government will be spending $15.9 billion on improving the capacity and capability of the country's security architecture. Of that figure, $1.2 billion will be spent on the supply and installation of cameras, servers, software, as well as radio communication and dispatch equipment. Equipping the Maritime Air and Cyber Command, promulgating the anti-gang legislation, implementing the €20 million Citizen Security Plan, and the establishment of more restorative justice centers will also be carried out in 2020-2021.
The returns on the unprecedented investments in the security apparatus already made is bearing fruit, and more gains will be realized in the coming years.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness will continue to tend to the most vulnerable in society in 2020-2021.
JSIF will engineer and construct an inclusive playground for children with disabilities at Hope Green in Papine. JSIF, in partnership with the Child Protection and Family Service agencies, will construct a therapeutic center at the Maxfield Park Children's Home. The government is offering full scholarships to train 2 more perfusionists to enhance the capacity to do these life-saving surgeries. The next stage of scaling up of the HOPE program is the full involvement of the private sector. The selection process is far advanced, and successful candidates will be assigned within the public sector by May 2020. It is evident that there is the need for another comprehensive review of the public education system covering all sectors of education, and therefore establishing the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission 2020 under the chairmanship of Professor Orlando Pattison, John Cowles Professor of Sociology at Harvard University. We are targeting the establishment of 6 new STEM high schools, academies, that will serve as centers of excellence for STEM education. We are also collaborating with private sector entities to establish the National STEM Teacher Development Center. Ground truthing of the boundary of the area proposed for protection as the cockpit country is far advanced. The National Tree Planting Initiative to meet the targeted 3 million trees in 3 years is ongoing. So far, we have planted 100,000 trees as part of this effort. Improving data collection efforts and increasing our predictive capabilities and managing climate impacts is critical. We have therefore purchased a new weather radar valued at approximately $3 million for the Met Station in Cooper's Hill. We have also signed a contract for the design and installation of a new dual polarization Doppler radar to replace the now obsolete system by December 2020.
In 2020-2021, the Port Authority will be developing the 50-acre Falmouth East Master Plan, a commercial and logistics complex on 12 acres of land at the Montego Bay Free Zone, and extend the Portmore Informatics Park on 6.1 acres of land targeting global services. And the Urban Development Corporation planning for the island's first wildlife sanctuary at Goat Islands has already begun.
NROC will focus on the implementation of the Montego Bay Perimeter Road project. Planning has begun for connecting both the north-south and the east-west leg of the highway, allowing seamless travel in all directions from both corridors.
In eastern Jamaica, the $5.37 billion Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project will kick off with the Harborview to Yallahs leg.
This GIDP is not just a roadwork program, but a true integrated infrastructure program incorporating road and development, water and wastewater, drainage and bridges, sidewalks, streetlights, telecommunications and sensors.
A modernized version of the Lengthman program will be implemented to not only fix highly trafficked roads, but also provide jobs for persons impacted by COVID-19 and displaced sugar workers.
The HAJ's priority going into the next year and beyond are clear: making affordable housing a reality for over 3,000 Jamaican families.
As a result, housing projects are being pursued in St. Catherine, St. James, Trelawney and St. Andrew. At the National Housing Trust, the completion of housing projects are 37% above target. The Guaranteed Purchaser program will be expanded to include efficient developers to provide houses worth between $5 and $8 million.
A total of 8,364 housing solutions are being proposed for the parishes of Hanover, St. Thomas, Portland, Westmoreland, St. James and St. Elizabeth.
The Trust will also be continuing its scheme upgrade program, financing of off-site water supply and sewerage projects, as well as building new housing solutions at Rasta City West, Kingston, with the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
For the financial year 2020-2021, an estimated $41 billion will be spent targeting 5,275 housing completions.
And to provide a buffer for mortgages impacted by COVID-19.
Effective immediately, mortgagors who are laid off can apply for a moratorium on all loan payments for 3 months in the first instance.
Mortgagors may also extend the tenure of their loan or reduce their interest rates. As of April 1, intergenerational mortgagors will be able to access houses on the open market and construction loans. Persons over 65 years may now make voluntary contributions to the NHT to access housing benefits up to age 70.
The Trust will, effective April 1, 2020, reduce interest rates on all new loans by 1%. We are also giving a reduction of 0.5% on all existing loans. The interest rate discounts currently offered to special groups, such as mortgagors aged 55 years and over, the disabled as well as public sector workers will continue. We have to make this the decade when Jamaica take off. We have to make this the decade when we expand the wealth of our country. We have to make this the decade, Mr. Speaker, when communities can sleep with their windows and doors open.
Tip number 1. Keep your regular medication and other supplies well stocked. Ensure there is access to several weeks of medications and supplies in case there is a need for you to stay home. Monitor food and other medical supplies needed and create a plan in the event that such resources become depleted. Tip number 2. Stay sanitized. Tip number 3. Respond to multi-generational living situations. Many older adults live in homes where other members, such as children, may have frequent colds. Therefore, do not share personal items like food, water bottles, and utensils. If possible, choose a room in your home that can be used to separate sick household members from those who are healthy. Tip number 4. Develop intentional caregiver plans. Older adults may be caregivers or may receive care themselves. Caregivers and care recipients should discuss their preparation plans, including how to stay in touch via phone or email. Determine who can provide you with care if your caregiver gets sick. And tip number 5, keep abreast of essential up-to-date information. That means you should find and regularly check a trusted information source.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm, and watch this and other programs on our YouTube channel. While you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the feel found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker. Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
My name is David Morrison, and I am the president of Morrison Financial Services Limited, a company that is headquartered in Toronto, Canada. We're a commercial finance company. We started in 1987, so we've been in business 31 years. We provide financing to small businesses of a variety of types. We do export financing, We provide mortgage financing for builders and developers to help them build out their projects, such as this one today. We provide financing to condominium corporations that have to do major repairs to their buildings. I've been coming to Jamaica for 30 years. I'm going to be 63 this year. I've been coming for a very long time. And I love Jamaica. The first development that I financed down here was in 1996. It was New Era Homes, who have become a major developer here, great developers. They're Angels Estate outside of Spanish Town for the National Housing Trust. And just ever since then, I've been interested in Jamaica. But more recently, we have an employee that we love at our company. His name is Adrian Bennett. And his father actually owned this land upon which we're building here and was looking for somebody to help him develop it, to put up the money and to do that. And primarily because of our affection for Adrian, we took a look at this. We had been asked once and turned it down. And then we decided we're going to get involved in this. And so it's a combination of my love for Jamaica, and we had an employee who we thought we would try to help in this way. So they're beautiful, in my view. Okay, we've done an extensive study of the market in Jamaica. We think that this development very much speaks to the market. There's 300 houses and various amenities. They're all 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but some of the houses have additional space because they have walkouts, because the land is undulating. So it goes down, and we decided to, on the ravine portions, to make walkouts that will add a significant amount to the house. There's various different models. There's something here for everybody. And there's also great amenities. There's a clubhouse with an infinity pool and party room if you wanted to do a party there, bigger than what fits in your house. There's going to be a walking trail around here. We're looking at various different amenities. So far, every dollar that's gone into this site has come from my company. It's a substantial amount of money. We have invested approximately $15 million US, and it's going out more every day. But we're committed to seeing it all the way through, and we're excited about it. We've had several Jamaican banks inquire with us about possibly providing some of the construction financing, and there's many that want to provide financing for the purchasers. So they're represented here today, and they will be represented in all of our promotional literature. A lot of the homes are being marketed to diaspora. We're trying to get Jamaicans abroad to invest in Jamaica and to care about Jamaica as they do, but to express that care by owning a home here. I love Jamaica, but I'm not above seeing some of the problems that exist in Jamaica. I think that Jamaica is struggling to become part of the first world and to have an economy that's developed, and is struggling to deal with wealth inequality and various other social problems. And I don't believe that those problems are going to be fixed in just one generation. I think if you want to have hope for the future in Jamaica, you have to educate the children. And last year, we, Edge Hill Homes, paid the full cost to build the Boscobel Infant School. What we've done as well is we have built into the bylaws of this community association a mandatory requirement that every homeowner contribute a small amount every year to a fund managed by Food for the Poor Jamaica that will be used to support that school to make sure that they have the best computers, the best supplies, the best equipment, all the maintenance, the best teachers, and that those children grow up with a great education. And so I say to you, okay, just by owning a home in the gates of Edge Hill, just by that simple thing, you are helping to make a better future for Jamaica. The other thing that we've done, which is very special, I think, every architect, every engineer, every professional, every laborer working on this site, and I think the total is now about 200, all sourced in Jamaica. So we've created a real benefit to this community in creating jobs and creating investment and bringing investment. And we again hope that that will be an example for everybody. We think it's important that Jamaicans build this place.
your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo. The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
We've got 2 model homes up. We've got about 78 to 85 shells up in phase 1, and we're working towards the completion of phase 1. The home construction is very good. It's slab on grade on marl pads, and we've got aluminum forms that we source from Colombia. So it's all formed concrete construction, which is superior to a block and steel solution. As far as the craftsmen on site, it's entirely Jamaican as far as the labor and the management is concerned. And we've got housing across the street for, I think, 150 people. So we can have them close to the site, and we have access to a good skilled labor pool here in Jamaica. So we're really happy to be able to use local labor.
People welcomed the development because it was well needed, the investment was needed. It brought training, it brought job opportunities. The vast majority of the 200 were mainly females who came and learned a skill, and they were certified on the job. We have also seen the collaboration between the developers and the community, where they have done some work on the roads. They have, based on the discussions we have been having with them, have also proposed to complete the road right up to Mango Valley and to put street lights and CCTV systems on the road, which will be hooked up to the Jamaica Eye system as well. Where the development is in Edghill in St. Mary, in Western St. Mary, one of the safer parts of not only St. Mary but Jamaica. And therefore, a matter of crime, while crime is everywhere, but in this part, it's not an issue. Plus, this is going to be a gated community, and they will also have CCTV cameras throughout the development and on the main access road. Because the way the development has happened, where the whole community has been involved, people see this development not as a means of tearing down, but as a means of helping them to build up.
We are now sitting in our largest floor plan, which is the Elizabeth. It is 1,904 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a study that can either double as a study or a separate dining area. This is the larger of our 2 floor plans that you would have available to you. The smaller of the 2 would be the Diana. The Diana is 1,658 in square feet, and it is also a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that is available. The price difference would be the location. There's premium locations. We have locations that will attain ocean views, so that will be a premium. We have beautiful cul-de-sacs, which enhances your privacy of your home. And then we have oversized lots as well. Some people want more land, and they will be a great candidate to have an oversized lot. We like to maintain the integrity and maintain the value of the homes. So what we have as restrictions are we won't be adding on additional rooms to the homes, nor will we be adding fences. What I've told people in the past and other developments I've worked with like this is if you have a desire for a fence, build some landscaping. Create your fence with landscaping. It'll give you the green space as well, the nice, beautiful, lush landscaping, as well as the privacy factor that you may be looking for. We have amazing amenities here. We have a 2-story clubhouse that will have an infinity pool that will also overlook and see the ocean. And then we also have a multi-purpose court, which is a tennis court and basketball court combo. There will be 2 fitness centers, an indoor fitness center as well as an outdoor gym. So we're looking at creating in this 63 acres of community an overall lifestyle. So when that gate opens and you come into the gates of Edge Hill, we want the world to feel, you want to feel like, I'm home and I don't have to go back out there. I can go jogging. There's a jogging trail, a walking trail. So you really have an overall lifestyle here at this property. And we're looking forward to, to watching people enjoy their new home. We partnered with Keller Williams, our local realtors, and Roy Marsh will be leading their team. And we partnered with them to do the marketing here in Jamaica, as well as branching out to their UK and Canada offices as well. So yeah, they've become a great partner of mine, and they've just been amazing.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker, game technician,
Animator,
with empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
What strikes me is the fact that it's a contemporary Jamaican paradise. That's the feel that it is, and just in them explaining all of the amenities that, is about to be here. You just feel like you're in the gates of paradise. It's just about an hour and a half away from Kingston, so, very easily accessible. They really touched on the safety of the property, and, that's a very big concern, especially Jamaicans that are looking to come back to Jamaica. What I really loved was the passion that the developers have poured into this project, not just as a community, a gated community, but also what it's doing for the community.
I think the price is value for money. I like the setup. I like the location. It's in the hills of St. Mary. You have a nice sea view. It has a very nice, eclectic, modern look. So I really like it.
I think it's just right in the market that you're thinking about, because when you think about a 3-bedroom with that much space, 1,900 square foot, or the unit which is 1,600, for the space, for the view, for where you are, I mean, it's great price. But when you think about what's going on definitely along the coast coming up in terms of the price range, and when you look at the other islands and where prices are going, this is a bargain, because you can't think of anything in any other island right now less than maybe probably $500,000 US. You can't think about it. And as you see, like what's happening in Kingston, what you see what's happening all over this island, prices are moving as fast as ever. It's ready to blast off. The amount of amenities is perfect. Perfect.
I realize they're very homely. They are really good for people with small children. The master bedrooms, they are spacious, and I especially love the closet space. It's quite generous. I never usually see this kind of space closets in these kind of developments, which is good. The finish is really good, and that is something I also look for when I'm looking at units, because if the workmanship is shoddy, it does take away from the ambience of the premises. I do not know who was the decorator or the designer. They also did a good job, and how they have arranged the furniture and so on really made it an asset to the units.
The location is a little bit away from the main, but it's the general layout is pretty good. The units themselves are fairly well laid out. Maybe need a little bit more dining area on one of the smaller model. But overall, the valuation for the project, especially with the land space, is pretty good. I feel that, a lot of probably returning residents as well as locals might have a value in this project. So overall, I think it was very good.
I think the units are amazing. I personally like this one, which is the Diana, for two reasons. The size is beautiful, plus that's my daughter's name. But beside that, I think it's a great development. I think it's a great location, and it will do super well.
It's a really beautiful unit. I mean, I'd move in right away. I like the space, I like the design, the flow, and the openness. So whether you are looking to entertain friends, whether you're looking to have your family together, it's open, but yet it's close. It offers that kind of a look and feel.
I love the master bedroom. It's homely, it's comfortable. It's very inviting. When you come in, you just want to go straight into your bed. That's how beautiful it was. And it was just simple, clean, and right to the point.
This is such an exciting opportunity for us at Keller Williams Jamaica. A lot of people do not know this, but Gates of Edge Hill is the largest development that has taken place in the parish of St. Mary ever. So it's only fitting that the developers chose Keller Williams Jamaica being a part of the largest real estate franchise in the world. We're in 26 countries, and so we have buyers coming. We have 170,000 agents spread across the globe. So in Jamaica, we have 60 agents in Jamaica, all fired up and ready to sell this development. So far, everybody loves it. The size of the units, all the bedrooms are larger than anything else on the market. The homes, over 1,900 square feet for a 3-bedroom, fantastic. You won't find that anywhere else. The finishing is top-notch. The roads are made of concrete to keep a high standard, low maintenance. I mean, the quality of the workmanship is excellent. So we anticipate that we will have a tremendous uptake for both local investors and overseas investors. The real estate market in Jamaica right now is at its most exciting point. With new development orders, Kingston is developing, Oakhurst is developing, Montego Bay is developing, and now St. Mary is developing. No one knew that Jamaica would be doing so well in the real estate market right now, but everybody has an interest in Jamaica right now. Our close proximity to the United States makes it a stone throw away. All the airlifts coming through our airports, the private jets coming into the airport just down the road. We're currently in one of the best periods for real estate. So I'm very excited about the opportune time for this development to hit the market. This is a blessing for Jamaica, a development like this. We can't compare it with anything else on the market. The clubhouse has a beautiful sea view. So sea views, spacious homes, a 24-hour gated community, located within 25 minutes from Dundrew Falls, located 5 minutes from an international airport, is fantastic.
JN Bank is here because we're interested in making the Gates of Edge Hill a preferred lender partner. Jamaica National has a developer program whereby we assist local developers in marketing their projects to the local market and, of course, Jamaicans overseas. The Jamaican diaspora is a very large community outside of Jamaica, and they want to own a piece of the rock, so we want them to come home. And Jamaica National's developer program covers multiple projects, but the Gates of Edge Hill, which is a new and upcoming project, is one that the society is very interested in participating in because it's gorgeous. The developer program is that we'll assist the developer in identifying who are potential customers. So we will pre-approve clients for them. As someone walks through the door, we will do an assessment, and that process is a pre-approval process. It's really an assessment of a person's identity and a verification of their income. And from that, we assist the developer in making a decision as to whether or not to move forward with the customer.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
The Mona School of Business and Management hosted its 4th business conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, and Business Access TV was there to bring you the highlights. Stay tuned.
Welcome on behalf of the Mona School of Business and Management to our 4th biennial conference. We're here to discuss delivering on the promise of entrepreneurship, and it is critical at this juncture that Jamaica in particular and the rest of the Caribbean have been going through all sorts of structural and fiscal and monetary adjustments. These are necessary but not sufficient. And entrepreneurship is clearly one of the ways in which we will capitalize on a more robust financial platform that we have. And today we'll be looking both at research and examples from the Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the global audience. In that context, I would like to welcome all our visitors and presenters who have come from the Caribbean, the USA, and Europe, and I'd like to thank you for attending. We look forward to having very interesting conversations over the 3 days, and as has been our custom, to have generated research and publications arising out of the conference to advance knowledge. Our goal is to provide a link between the academy and the business community in a more direct way than other faculties and departments at the university. I therefore welcome not just this interaction between the school and the wider community, but we hope to use it as a springboard to forge even better partnerships.
I've noticed that the title of the opening plenary is Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Growth, Unlocking the Potential in the Jamaican Economy. So I presume that within that is the message that entrepreneurship and innovation have something to do with growth. And it's a fair assumption. And that is perhaps why we are being told by the Economic Growth Council to unleash our entrepreneurial spirit. We are being told by the World Bank to become more innovative. We're told by various members of the political directorate to take more risks and invest in newer areas. So it would appear that there is a growing perception that there is, in fact, a link between entrepreneurship and growth. The private sector organization of Jamaica and the Jamaica Bankers Association are finally reaching out to small and medium-sized entrepreneurs to get them to formalize their operations. So all of this is good. I think there's an energy that is starting. Unfortunately, that has happened before, but there is an energy that's starting that we need to keep going. And we need to understand that, or figure out whether it is a magic bullet or it is the beginning of a new paradigm that must be adopted by all of us across the board in order for us to secure mature development as a nation, as a society. I think we need to take a look at the historical context of our country so that we understand not only where we are, or we got here, but we can try and use it to map where we're going. But before I do that, I just wanted to give a commercial plug for the efforts of the Jamaica Bankers Association and the member bankers for the initiative to allow access to finance and to encourage access to finance for the SMEs and the medium-sized businesses. It's important for us to understand that the current definition of an SME is a business entity having between 1 and 50 employees. and an annual turnover of less than $150 million. So that is the spectrum of enterprises that we at the PSOJ and the JBA are trying to capture. And the aim is to bring greater awareness of this SME sector to the extremely numerous and detailed programs that the government's access to finance agenda has established since 2016. And also, we want to provide input and support for the adoption and the expansion of the access to finance program across most of the stakeholder sectors through a process of education, facilitation, and familiarization. So the project has two streams. It has the access to finance stream, and it has a reverse factoring program, which is being developed in conjunction with the BBJ to enable small businesses to better manage their receivables. Cash flow is extremely important to small businesses, and we need to assist them in their management of it and in their collection of their debt. So the hope of the program is to foster better relationships between the banks and the small businesses, to simplify the credit processes and to make them easier and more transparent for the small businesses. We want to train the MSMEs, which is the term, in formalizing, regularizing, and structuring their business processes and to allow them to unlock additional capital to allow for their business expansion.
So as we contemplate how we can deliver on this promise of entrepreneurship in the Caribbean region, in our own Jamaican nation, I invite us to consider those factors which may possibly be standing in the way of us unlocking and unleashing our entrepreneurial potential. As a region and as a nation, we have a reputation of being a creativity powerhouse. We pride ourselves in our ability to come up with creative, original new ideas, and we often proudly hail our national mantras such as Tanya Han and Make Fashion, which speaks to our creative national problem-solving abilities, which allow us to turn any obstacle into an inventive opportunity. Simply put, we are just naturally creative, imaginative, and innovative people. And throughout our history, as a region and as a nation, our creative outputs and our ideas have always garnered global attention. However, in spite of our creative prowess, we seem to have failed to translate our ideas into generating high growth, high worth, high impact entrepreneurial ventures. And so I ponder the question, why do we think that is? Why is it that as a nation and as a region, we have been a plethora of creators in our island, but a dearth of successful entrepreneurs? So to examine this question, I invite us to consider the distinctions between the definitions of creativity and entrepreneurship. Now, the Webster Dictionary defines creativity as the ability to make new things and think of new ideas that we do well. However, it defines entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or an enterprise. I submit that this is the critical differentiator in this definition between who an entrepreneur is as opposed to who a creative is. In that an entrepreneur is somebody who has to and must take risks. This distinction between these two definitions is important because while we as Jamaicans are a naturally creative people, we need to consider the question, are we naturally entrepreneurial? Are we naturally risk takers and risk makers, or are we risk averse? In the results of the indices from the Global Resilience Index, which ranks 130 countries around the world by the risk and resilience of their business environments, based on certain factors such as economic indicators, risk factors, and supply chain issues, Jamaica has consistently ranked in the bottom 30 of 130 nations in the study. This might suggest that our national distaste for risk is well-founded. However, if left unchecked, our risk aversion will continue to be our entrepreneurial Achilles heel. So why is it that as a region, we're such risk-averse people? Why do we shy away from risk? I believe it's in part because when we think about entrepreneurial risk, we tend to only focus on the downside versus the upside of risk. A close examination of the term risk suggests that it refers to the effect of uncertainty on meeting organizational outcomes. However, while the effect of uncertainty as an entrepreneurial venture can be both negative and positive, we often only focus on the potential negative effects of risk and uncertainty
to the exclusion of the consideration of the positive potential opportunities which risk and uncertainty can also provide. In my opinion, an entrepreneur is someone who sees the future and then sets out to create it. However, creating the future means stepping out into the uncertain and the unknown, and stepping out onto the unknown is risky. Oftentimes, however, when risk-averse entrepreneurs think of the word risk, what comes to mind are only those potential dangers, threats, and negative consequences of undertaking a venture. What if I can't pay my bills? What if a competitor beats me to the market? What if I invest a huge sum of money in the business, but I can't attract enough customers to cover my costs? I submit that this is a flawed view of the concept of risk. To the contrary, as we seek to unlock and unleash our creative and entrepreneurial potential as a region and as a nation, we need to begin to acknowledge that risk and reward are two sides of the same entrepreneurial coin. Consequently, without an active emphasis on entrepreneurial risk-taking and risk-making, we will fail to see the rewards of generating high growth, high impact, high worth entrepreneurial ventures.
Just to give you a little background in terms of what the DBJ does. The DBJ, really, the focus as a development bank is to really improve the lives of all Jamaicans through development financing, capacity building, PPPs, and privatizations. DBJ's role in building the economy, in as much as Howard just mentioned that because of factors, the state has had a big influence on the economy. DBJ's role, the philosophy behind it, is really not to be competing with the private sector or to take the place of the private sector, but really to fill the gaps where they exist. And so over the many decades, DBJ has been involved in lending through the AFIs at affordable rates when interest rates were at sky-high levels. Putting in place collateral guarantees for good projects that did not have sufficient collateral to access loans. Things that Ignite program, grants for innovation, which now coming up with a reverse factoring, there is capacity building of our entrepreneurs. And the work that I'm doing, which really was focused on access to finance, access to equity finance through the Jamaica Venture Capital Program. When we established the VC program, the whole point was that we originally thought about it as being access to finance, but pretty quickly recognized that it was wider than just money. We had to be building the ecosystem. Everybody had to be ready for a market. Any market has buyers, sellers, as well as the infrastructure. We had none of those in Jamaica, so we had to be building that infrastructure. So it was really a multifaceted program that was developed, training and capacity building. Our fund managers or investors had to be trained, or fund managers or entrepreneurs, our lawyers, accountants. So there was a lot of training. We also put in place the infrastructure to build for our first funds to be started, as well as there are a number of legal, regulatory, and tax issues which have to be addressed. And most importantly, the entrepreneurs, the deal flow has to be there. So in looking at building an ecosystem, we had to be cognizant of, as I mentioned, all the various things. Who are the players? How are they going to be exiting the stock exchange? I know Marlene is going to be talking about that shortly. And, entrepreneurship, as well as what's happening with the SMEs and who are what is the support infrastructure. And we took a lot of lessons. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We took a lot of lessons from what happened in Latin America as they were building their private equity and venture capital ecosystems.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
So I just wanted to just tell you real quick about the IDB Lab, just to put in context where we sit and what we are doing and how we could unlock the potential for entrepreneurship and innovation in Jamaica, even further than we are doing now. I like the way we started the panel. So we started off looking at the research, because research and development is very integral in all that we have to do as SMEs and entrepreneurs and when we're taking on innovation. We looked at the risk approach to it, smart risk taking. We also looked at our history, where we're coming from, because culturally that's still going to be ingrained in us. And then we looked at the capacity building and all the different elements that's needed. So I want to take you through unlocking that potential that's there and first introducing you to IDV Lab. So IDV Lab is a part of the IDV group. We serve over 650 million persons across the world. We are a part of a group with IDB Invest. IDB works with the government. IDB Invest works with private sector, and then IDB Lab works with different corporate entities, civil society, NGOs, towards solving developmental problems. I'll go back to what Mr. Mitchell had said about inclusiveness. That's what IDB is all about. We are innovation lab looking at inclusive solutions for Latin America and the Caribbean. We create market-driven solutions. So we look at what the market is doing, what the needs are, where the gaps are, and we work along with the private sector to create those solutions. We also look for what we call transformative impact. How do we create what we call 10x impact, greater impact than we have seen before in the projects that we're looking to do? And we're very focused on vulnerable society. This is the inclusiveness that Mr. Mitchell was talking about. Where does the poor and the disabled and those persons who don't have access to goods or services, how can we help to solve some of those problems, elevating those persons, improving their lives so that they can be contributing to the growth of the society? So I mentioned we work with private sector in creating these projects. They're the ones who are executing on the initiatives.
But I'm going to start with this slide, which is the JSE Market Index. And it is an index taken from Bloomberg yesterday, which really shows that point to point from last year, this time to this year, the market index has gone up by 61.76%. And that is showing you really the power of what happens when businesses are financed and the value created at each stage. So you can see that the index speak about companies and the value that has gone from point of last year to now is an increase of 61.7%. Year to date, 27%. I'm going to share a little bit with you as to why this could happen. But let us talk about the stock exchange group. We are 50 years today, this year, and what we did, we set out to ensure that there was confidence in the market by forming the Jamaica Central Securities Depository in 1998. And in order to broaden the services of the financial sector, in 2008, we formed the trustee division. And this is in order for persons to have confidence in the market when we talk about funding. When we talk about access to equity capital, one of the main pillars is confidence in the market. So the idea of the stock exchange is that we can raise equity, and that is, having shareholders in your company, but also debts can be raised on the market as well. And every once in a while, we do have some simple innovations that allow for markets to grow and for persons to get money and to grow their business. And so in 2009, we created the junior market, and which shows a collaboration between government, and the private sector, which offers because persons have asked what is offered to incentivize um, businesses to grow, to access capital. And we have the junior market where, with the government's collaboration, we have a 10-year corporate tax holiday. We also have the support of the depository, as I said before, and we are in 40 clients in 5 CARICOM states. So we are all over the Caribbean. What is our market performance? For the main market, we have 55 companies as at June, and 55 securities and 42 companies. For the junior market, because we have the junior market, as I said, as at June, we have 41 companies. So the companies have come to market and have grown and representing 38 securities. And we do have a US dollar market also, and that is growing too. So we can see that people are considering as a credible option the stock market to raise capital. Why would you want to go public? Public, when you talk about going public, it's a serious situation. It is one of disclosing your business to all concerned. And many persons are reluctant to do that. But more and more, we are seeing, especially small and medium sized, understanding that it is not so bad. When you come to market, you get these various benefits, enhanced profitability and viability, and assess more about this company. It's a larger pool of well-run, profitable and compliant, because compliance is important. And there is a wider pool of investors. When probably 5 or so years ago, you had less persons willing to invest in companies that come to market. So you would have probably 20, 30 investors in any what is called an IPO. Now we have thousands of companies, of investors that will invest in companies. So for those persons who are business people, don't be afraid. Persons will invest in you if you have a credible idea and a good plan. We have seen on the level of the macro level that employment has increased, and it is a sustainable economic growth because of that.
Stop for a second and think about an incentive where you get 100% relief on your corporate tax for 5 years and 50% after. And you have in excess of 2,000 companies registered at the company's office. And we only have 40 since we have opened the junior market. It speaks to a bigger issue. So I have 3 minutes and I just want to touch on 2 quick things. That bigger issue is that significantly more education needs to be given to owners of these companies. We spend too much time trying to hide revenues, etc., in so-called getting a lower tax rate, that you're impacting the value creation, the revenue expansion of your business. So we need to find a way to get to more of those entrepreneurs, to let them understand that the more you open up your company is the more you're going to make. Because the tax rate is a percentage of a whole. So if that whole keeps growing, you will always get more than what the government is going to get. I'll touch quickly on the fact that, Neighbor does all these things. We take you from nowhere right up. We fund you with debt, we fund you with equity. The gains have been crazy. But I close by jumping into Audrey's space because I just want to make 2 fundamental points. I think sometimes we don't really focus on what really matters. So the biggest issue with funding in the country is a matter of risk management. So for example, people always say, why is it easier for you to get a car loan than for you to get a capital item loan? And it's very, very simple. There's a secondary market for cars. So when you get a loan, the bank has to ensure its principal can be repaid in the event you don't make the payment. So they'll quickly lend you against a car because if you default on a car, there are a billion people that are willing to buy the car on a second-hand basis. But that is the secret to true funding in this country. If every sector of the economy that you want to pump funding into, you can create a secondary market, that is where you'll start to get a lot of funding. Because with all due respect, all of you guys that want money, you don't want to lose money. I don't want to lose money. The facts say that 8 out of 10 of you are going to blow up the money. That's why it is so difficult. So in my mind, the solution is create an environment that if I will invest in all 10, but the 8 that blows up, give me an incentive. Because right now it's too lopsided. I lose everything when your company blows up, and the best if I'm lucky that I'm going to get from you is, Mr. Peart, you're a good guy. Sorry I lost all your money. But guess what? I have another idea. Can you give me some more money for that? It's not going to work. So I finally close by saying to get these traditional investors to invest in you, you have to come up with a solution that mitigates the risk for them.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life runs art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
So today I will be speaking about Airbnb, which is very topical. The emergence of Airbnb in Jamaica and some of the debates and concerns that we have. I'm going to be pointing to what I consider to be a research gap and some questions, a very brief literature review, tell you a little bit about my methodology, what I found out, and some preliminary conclusions. I want to say that this is part of a larger body of work, and it's very much still in progress. So 2 things, forgive me if everything isn't there, and secondly, I really welcome your comments, which will help me to, I can utilize them as I go forward. All right, so these are some of the headlines that we see, that we have seen over time. I just went to our local newspapers, and you can see there's quite a debate happening, and this happens everywhere Airbnb goes. Very few people are neutral. They either love it or they hate it. So most recently, in the last week, we have had the issue of taxation come up, and the whole issue about how much are people earning from Airbnb currently. The last comment that really caught my attention was from the JHTA, Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association. And they're saying, tax because we need a level playing field. And what is in quotation there, you can read for yourself. But in essence, the JHTA's position is that, look, these people are legitimate competitors to us, and we don't see why, if they are competing in our space, they shouldn't have to have the same, my words, burden that we have. So, what I have been noticing in this debate, there's a lot of talk, as I showed you the headlines, about Airbnb and home sharing. Airbnb, of course, is just one of the many companies, but it's a name that everybody knows. So, and it's what I'm actually focusing my work on. But there's a lot of stuff we don't know. For example, Are they really unfair threats? Are they tapping into the same market as the hotels? Or are they just little people trying to make some extra cash? JHTA doesn't think so, that they're little people, but how much do we really know? Do they offer similar products? And in essence, it comes down to one question: what exactly are they doing? So I have some research questions that I will show you again in a little bit. But in essence, what I'm trying to understand is from the perspective of the host. So rather than going macro, I'm actually going to go micro, because hosts are the ones who make Airbnb, make or break an Airbnb product. So that's what I will be looking at. So as I said, I'll mention these research questions in a little bit. But to just talk about the host, who is the host? Well, one definition says a good host makes his guests very happy, makes his guests happy while they're in his care. So that's in essence what a host would be required to do. But in addition to that, a host has a legal and moral obligations. So if some of us have studied hospitality law, and we know that coming back from common law, innkeeper's liability, and so on, you have the obligation to ensure that your guests are kept safe and healthy. But in addition to that, there's this moral code from many religions and traditions, meaning that you have to take the person in. In addition to that, in Jamaica, we have very strict legislation. And for a homestay, which currently Airbnb would fall under, there are 11 standards established by TPD, Tourism Product and Development Company, that have to be met. And they're currently looking at new legislation, they say. But currently, this is where it would fall. And hosts should also receive Team Jamaica training. B&B hosts, bed and breakfast hosts, are often lifestyle entrepreneurs, and that's a nice way of saying they don't necessarily do it for the money. There's a lot of romance and mystery associated with the concept of bed and breakfast. And the interesting thing with Airbnb is, it sounds like breakfast, bed and breakfast, and they're built on that notion, although they technically, they don't have to serve breakfast, and very few actually do. But remember that many of them are lifestyle entrepreneurs. And the services that they're expected to provide, they're very intimate, customer service oriented, personalized, and so on, because in many cases, you're coming into the home of the host. Airbnb now, what they say is almost anyone can be a host. That's what, if you go to their website, they will say that. But what you may not understand when you're following up on that, oh, I'm sorry, and they also say that there are 3 steps: list the space, decide how to host, and welcome the first guest. And that sounds really simple as 1, 2, 3. But in reality, each of those steps assumes a whole body of knowledge which everybody may not have. You have to understand how to market. You have to understand how to do your pricing according to the season, according to supply and demand, and so on. And of course, how to manage your property and to interact with guests.
This afternoon, I'm going to be presenting on Airbnb and delivering the promise of Airbnb, the promise of entrepreneurship to Jamaica. And as my colleague mentioned, Dr. Craig, about the whole issue of Airbnb, it's a very controversial topic now. To tax or not to tax, those are the issues. But today for my presentation, I'm going to be providing and sharing some data with you about Airbnb's performance in Jamaica in particular. And please note that this is a part of a larger body of study. I'm actually studying Airbnbs not only in Jamaica, but also in Cuba and Cayman Islands and Bahamas. So the sample that you're seeing me extrapolate data from is a part of a wider body of knowledge that is also currently ongoing and in process. So as you can see, it's the whole business of home sharing. So the idea is not lost upon us. And another thing that we want to drive home is that the whole notion of Airbnb is really not new to the Jamaican tourism industry, Caribbean tourism industry by extension. We've always opened our homes to guests. It's just the way in which we're doing it is different. And technology has created a platform that allows for greater access to persons who are also seeking this kind of intimate relationship and more authentic experiences. So we're going to get into, again, some of the controversy I also took from the headlines because it's so topical. And as you can see, there's so many issues coming out, how many guests we're actually welcoming, uh, where they're going, who are they staying with, to tax or not to tax. That's also a big question that is trying to be answered now. So it's very topical. But again, just to frame and contextualize it, Airbnb is a wider, it's a part of the wider sharing economy. And I love that term, as you mentioned, the Uberification, is it? Yes, fantastic. Because really that's what it is. It stems from these radical innovations that allow people to make extra money. That's really what it is. So I looked at the literature again from sources and what persons are saying about the sharing economy, which we're now a part of. And that is why everybody's trying to get their slice of the pie. So, Botsman in particular had mentioned that it's very hard for us to define in totality what the sharing economy is. However, Ryan and Botsman in 2017 and 15 respectively looked at it from calling it a collaborative economy, the on-demand services economy, the gig economy, the freelance economy. So if you hear any of these terms, they're all used interchangeably. And basically, it refers to the sharing activity of underutilized assets with the help of IT-based technology. So it's nothing new. It's just again the platform in which we're presenting it is a little different. So, the main drivers towards this economy, how did it emerge and why are we here and why is it so important to us? The main drivers is basically consumer behavior. We're switching now from ownership to access. Now, I'm a part of a very unique group of consumers and producers called the millennials, and there are a few in this room. And we're kind of changing and shaping the way in which we consume things. So we're looking less to ownership rather, and more to access. And that is what is causing all these radical innovations to take place right across our landscape, and in particular in tourism. Now, the biggest success factors of the sharing economy is online reputation. And my colleague again, Anne Crick, also mentioned, the feedback system and rankings in terms of host and super host and all of that. Very important for us to look at. So these are some of the brands that come about under the sharing economy: Uber, Airbnb, Homestay, Lyft, WeWork, all of these, Craigslist, Couchsurfing, all of them are part of the sharing economy. So peer-to-peer accommodation, this is where people provide accommodation directly to consumers using a digital platform. And these are temporary stays in the homes. Airbnb in particular for P2P accommodation, most people call it Airbnb, but there are also other platforms that are very much relevant to us and is affecting the Jamaican tourism accommodation landscape: TripAdvisor, HomeAway, and also Booking.com. Now, just to share some data with you, globally, peer-to-peer accommodations, they're 7% of total accommodation around the world, 8 million beds. It's estimated that the number of transactions that took place was actually 75 billion US in 2017. And the trends and findings, again, the millennials are the ones who are driving this form of innovation. And also, it is not limited to budget travelers. It's not just about cheap travel, but efficient travel as well. And it was initially for the leisure market, but we find from my studies that the business traveler is also another trending market. So for entrepreneurs who are trying to get into Airbnb, an aspect that you could look at in terms of growth is catering to the needs of the business traveler. So Jamaica, what is happening with Jamaica, and what does it mean for us going forward? Jamaica was chosen as one of the countries for a pilot study by the World Bank in 2018. So they came to the Ministry of Tourism and they wanted to study peer-to-peer accommodations in the Caribbean, and Jamaica was the country chosen. But why is the World Bank interested in peer-to-peer accommodation? It is said that it can help to eliminate poverty, boost shared prosperity, and also its contributions for income generation for a broader group of people, in particular women, which I'll be looking at tomorrow. So in Jamaica, just to put things into perspective, there is over 5,000 active listings on Airbnb in Jamaica, 7,600 in total. So that's a recent statistics that's coming from Airbnb. So we have 7,600 hosts, 5,000 active, which means they're actually getting bookings and doing well. TripAdvisor Rentals also has 2,300 listings. HomeAway has 950 listings, and Booking.com has 1,124. So it's not just Airbnb, but it's just that Airbnb is one of the platforms that has seen the most growth throughout the years.
Thanks for staying with us for coverage of the Mona School of Business and Management's 4th Business Conference. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker, game technician,
Animator.
Youth empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
I'm Stephen Price, Head of Retail Sales and Distribution at Flow. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
I am Valerie Vieira, Chief Executive Officer, Jamaica Business Development Corporation. At heart, I'm a true country girl, and still is, despite having lived and went to school and university in Kingston. I am very fortunate to have a family that's a real family. I have an older brother and I have 4 sisters. I'm the older one, so I'm the mistress of the clan. But we grew up as a team and we still operate as a team. And with the new ones coming on board, the nieces and nephews, it's a larger team. Very fabulous experience growing up with these people. I am in the public sector from day one, and it's a kind of family history because all my family have served at some point in their life in the public sector. Many of them have branched out into their own businesses, but they still find time, even then, to be part of the National Development Program. So I guess it was sort of natural. I never thought of going anywhere else but working at a national level in the public sector. And you'll find that my qualifications from, I started university, and I'm still learning, by the way, and all the programs I have attended and participated in have been focused a lot on how you can contribute to national development. And I've had a very fulfilling life, career, and I can hardly think of a regret to this day. I might have had some obstacles which I converted into stepping stones to somewhere else, something else, a bigger plan. So I'm not one of those persons who have a lot of story to tell about all the hardships. I have more stories that overcome challenges along the way, which I have utilized to grow really. And I still continue to grow, and I believe Again, based on my family kind of development, that we continue to grow if we want to really enjoy life. And I am still enjoying life a lot, even now. I come from a home where respect and integrity was not negotiable. And this, of course, has forward into my adult life. And respect was for every single person we encountered. My dad was a manager at JPS, Jamaica Public Service. We moved to Manchester when I was probably about 8. And that was when Jamaica Public Service was introducing their services in that area of the country. When he was asked to go to Mandeville, that was like, my goodness, what a disaster, because they're just about to build their dream home in Seville, in St. Anne. Well, you know, it turned out to be a very important experience for all of us. What I saw from his work, and I say was because he passed about 3 years ago, but what I learned instinctively from him, one, as I said before, respect was due. He was never the boss. He was the manager of a team. So respect was due. Integrity, he was one of the first persons to be receiving national honors from the JPS team. And we're very proud of that. He also taught us that every member of the team was important, which again has impacted my own operation, even at JBDC. People will often hear me say that if our gardener, aka he says he is the environmental manager, and he is, if he doesn't do his work well, when you enter JBDC's compound, you start with a bad impression. So I learned that from him as well. As I said, he probably was even a little bit naive in terms of never thinking that people would do evil. We just grew up thinking that there's good in everybody. We grew up learning to share. He paid many school fees for people even without us knowing. And that again has guided me fast forward into my adult life, because I've fostered a young lady who I'm very proud of, who is now married, and actually I have a grandson from her. But there are other people who I have quietly supported, not because you want any acclamation, but because it's the right thing to do. My mother was his queen, and so she was the queen of the house, and he would respect that. I've never heard him speaking hard to her. My mom was stay at home, and maybe that was something that was excellent for us. We learned a lot at the kitchen table apart from cooking. One of those things was to save. If you earn $10, you can consume $10. And when we started getting pocket money, which was like 2 shillings, that's dating me, we had to put 1 shilling in the saving box. And the end of the month, my sister and I had to go to the post office bank to put that money in the bank. We thought 2 shillings to put in the bank was just not for us to do. My parents, they were not interested in that. They were interested in the fact that we must learn not to consume all that we have. And surprisingly, that saving was part of the down payment for our house, which we now have in Kingston. My parents wanted to train us how to apportion your income. Part of that was entertainment as well, but a big part had to be savings. And I've taken that into my adult life. So I'm not one of those persons who consume every dollar that I earn. And I'm not persuaded that if you earn what you think is a small salary, that you need to consume everything. I'm more persuaded that you need to adjust your lifestyle to save something. And my parents always said that we as young women should never ever have to be looking to get married or so on, because we need somebody else to complete us in any way. In fact, we're told that we were old people, full people. So if you were seeking a partner, it should be another full circle that joins with you, not a half person looking for another half person to make a whole. So we have had some of those sound foundations from home. And it has taken me into my work. The MSME sector is acknowledged, recognized. It's at the table for the conversation, making their input, not being spoken of, but being spoken with.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
At Harvard, I found that I knew a lot because sometimes we speak down our local institutions. And when I went to Harvard, I realized how much I learned at UWI, Mona. And it pushed me pretty much forward. I came back with a confidence that I had new skills. And I feel, having experienced that I share that with my staff, because we have a young staff at JBDC, and I always say to them, you need to continuously be learning something new or else you'll be left behind. I take it to my own family, my nieces and nephews, 100% behind them to move forward with their learning process. And when I came back, they had just restructured JNIP, JIDC, which is where I was from, and the Jamaica National Export, JNEC. They were now JAMPRO. And they asked me what area I would be interested in coming back to. And I selected the technical area. And I became in charge of negotiating technical assistance for Jamaica, for under JAMPRO programs and so on, and managing a technical team, which included engineers and so on. Remember, I'm not a technical, I'm an administrator. But I learned that you should not necessarily be the engineer who manages a team, because the role of the manager is not to necessarily be doing all the specific work, but to ensure that it happens. So I had that team. And as I said, there was an alignment, because I came back, I must say, and I don't usually talk about it, but I got a great mark in the negotiation program. And it equipped me very well for that kind of work. So I got into good books with the UNDP people. So we had a program that I led in the negotiation, which actually turned out to be the foundation for the JBDC now. Because that program, through good management with the team, I had a strong team, we then evolved into the organization that is now Jamaica Business Development Corporation. It took a few years, but it was such an exciting journey. We started off with the micro and small business sector being seen as the flavor of the month. It was politically correct to say you're supporting these people. But I was clear that it needed more than that. And I was fortunate to have in my team people who shared the vision. And we embarked on a program of really getting the sector recognized as a key part of economic development. If anybody asks me, what would be a legacy that I would be proud of? One of them would be that the MSME sector is acknowledged, recognized. It's at the table for the conversation, making their input, not being spoken of, but being spoken with. And almost every institution at tertiary level now speaks of small business and entrepreneurship and all of that. Before now, entrepreneurship was only big man thing. You had to have money, you had to have a big factory and all of this. And I do recall my team and I, did we say we're a little off? We took a container and we got some blessing from the government at the time, the minister we had, and he allowed us. We took a container and converted it into a movable factory. We went all over Jamaica, having it on a flatbed truck, taking it all over, talking about production in a container, showing that production don't have to be a big factory. Exciting days. We're all over the place. And meeting with the real people. As a country girl, I love to relate to my country people. They are real people. And we were so excited when we could share with them possibilities that were pregnant for development. You know, demonstrating that small business is big business if done right. And this is really the essence of JBDC. How do we provide support to small businesses at all levels? Whether you're making tambourine ball for the pharmacy, it has to be done to standards. It has to be properly priced. Sanitation has to be right, just as if you're making it to export. And this has been the belly of JBDC. And that is a legacy that when I sit in my rocking chair, I will really feel excited that the MSME sector has come into its own. It even has a policy and others coming out of that main policy to support their development. And now the profile has changed dramatically from being somebody distributive trade to university graduates coming out and starting their own, small businesses. I'm very excited about that. JBDC has been in existence since 2001. We learned early in the day that we needed to translate our language. At one point, we spoke to ourselves. And our lead consultant then is Greek. And I said, Mr. Todi, if we talk Greek, nobody answers us to understand what we're saying. So guess what? We need to go back to basics and speak the language that can be understood. So we were so caught up at first into the concepts, and it was fantastic, exciting, all of us. But we needed to speak the language, which we easily converted. To say that we have gotten support, I'd say yes. From day one, Mr. Patterson then was our Prime Minister, and he launched JBDC. We have never turned back since then. All our ministers, to different degrees, have provided support. You see, we are not an organization that you can forget that's there. We are not that kind of team. We are very forward-thinking and in your face. Everybody knows that JBDC will go where angels dare not. And if you want an example of public-private sector partnership, JBDC would be one of those organizations. Lots of our programs are funded by private sector organizations. They couldn't happen without that. We also negotiate and stand on our reputation for successful delivery of programs with the international communities. We work outside of Jamaica as well, and we do earn some money from that. So putting all that together and going back to my childhood where you learn to live on what you earn, we have managed to be doing good work. You can earn big money as a small business, even more so now with technology.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look. But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
This is exciting days for MSMEs. What is critical in our understanding is that whereas before industry and economic development spoke to big companies making big impact, in analyzing, we recognize that in every industry, every single one, barring none, there is a segment for the MSMEs to operate successfully. And that is usually the most exciting part, by the way. It's usually the creative aspect of it, the specialist areas. So if it's food and they're making tamarind ball, it's not the regular tamarind ball. And you see that in our Things Jamaica shops. You don't find that agility so much in a large company. So I think the psychological shift that people recognize that there are many benefits that can be derived from being a small, efficient, effective operation. You can earn big money as a small business, even more so now with technology. And this is what JBDC is all about. And we have different levels in the profile now. We just had cohort 2 of our accelerator program launched. And these are about 20 high growth possibility companies that we have identified, mainly young businesses, young people, who with a little help can really make it big in the marketplace. So you have that kind of group. And we see how we use some of the experienced business people to mentor them and to help prepare them for the marketplace. In the first cohort, some have even become suppliers to large ones, and they're in export. So it's not about you being small and everything about being sort of, other. It's about where in that value chain you fall as a small business. What we are working on now is the kind of enriching support that we continuously have to give from an organization like a JBDC. So we do have the business advisory group who will help them formalize and, sort of go through the concept. But we have a whole resource center that provides technical support to them, or engineers, or food technologists, or product designers, and so on. This is service that the government now is paying to provide to the group, So it's just like a person, an individual, need to know what is their need. And this is what we do at JBDC. So it's an exciting time for the small business people, because more and more people want design-led products. These are the products that a small producer who has the agility to change, to respond quickly to consumer tastes. These are the opportunities. The opportunities are pregnant for exploiting, And this is what we are behind to make sure that the support system is there. And I know a lot of people talk about finance being a kind of block. And there is some limitation which we are helping to work through. But finance comes when you have the product right, when you have the business right, when your governance structure is right. And I always say B&B don't work. Bed and boardroom don't necessarily work. So we work through those things with our small businesses. You are small, it don't mean you have to be inefficient and ineffective. It means that you have to run a tight shop because you don't have the fat of some of the larger companies to do it wrong and recover. But the demand for specialist products is really blossoming, not only in Jamaica, internationally. So it's how you help that group and support them, because the large ones have gotten support over the years. I have asked also that we develop a manual on step-by-step entry into the external markets. We work closely with JAMPRO on this, but I say for JBDC, we need to have clear the steps to get into the Canadian market, get in the US market. And we are saying, by the way, that market don't equal US. We as JBDC, we are looking at the regional market as a great opportunity as well. So we're focusing a lot on that because we know that we're doing the work in terms of product development, but we have to move forward, because it's business. We have to look forward now into market. Our ministry that we fall under, that portfolio, includes agriculture. And so we're working back with our colleagues in agriculture, and we're looking at the extraction industry, for instance, how we can develop that, because a lot of our spices and our herbs and so on can be converted to many other products. It's the base for many products, and we have really lagged behind in that. We're getting a lot of support, and we're working together with the agricultural side of our ministry to make sure that that becomes a critical part. You can use it in the spar products, use it in the specialty foods. Even some of them for dyeing, is part of that whole process. So it's not only about somebody who is in distributive trade. It's about all business opportunities. This is what we do every day, seeking new opportunities, but under a big umbrella. So while we explore one thing, we see how we can expand that umbrella to bring on board other activities, business opportunities in the value chain. Many people are scared to share because they have been burnt. And key for us at JBDC is that your information, we're committed to confidentiality. So you don't have to be nervous to share. What we will say to you is, if it's something that you need to register your IP, intellectual property, we'll guide you through that process. Where we can provide the service that you need is for us to guide and negotiate with other agencies, whether it's local or international, to ensure that your basket has in it all the components that you would need to move forward. And in our system, failure is not a disaster. I have two aspects to wealth. Wealth in terms of money is not all the money I might have in the bank, but that I'm able to pay my bills without people knocking on the door. That is important wealth, because I grew up in that system where we never had people, we have to hide from anybody to pay a bill. Secondly is when you can look people in the eye. That to me is the greatest wealth. When you can look people in the eye without hesitating, because you don't feel guilty that you have gone out of your way to do anybody harm. I think that the peace that comes from that is the most fantastic wealth you can experience, when your inner spirit can be calm despite all the noise around you, because you have done your best.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves. Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look, but you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is at play.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
This week on Caring Hands. The Caribbean, a veritable paradise, home to a unique variety of flora and fauna. One of the world's greatest centers for endemic species and biodiversity. Local environmental and small community-based groups are playing a critical role in protecting and conserving this biodiversity by promoting sustainable livelihoods. Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic are reaping the benefits of this approach. In Jamaica, the Southern Trelawney Environmental Agency STEO works to conserve and protect the cockpit country. One of the last remaining areas of undisturbed forest in the island, it supports the largest number of globally threatened species in the Caribbean.
Biodiversity is quite unique across cockpit country. And I'd say that all the species of Jamaican plants can be found in cockpit country. All the habitats of all the rare fauna, lizards, frogs, bird species are here. And the folk form and the culture of Maroon people spreads into this area.
The Windsor Research Centre facilitates and conducts research on the Cockpit Country, the source of fresh water used by 40% of Jamaicans.
This is the Martha Brae. This is one of the important aspects of biodiversity that we need to highlight for conservation. The river is one of the 5 major rivers that flow out of Cockpit Country and supply the entire western part of Jamaica with fresh drinking water which is ready to drink right now. What's really important is to maintain the connectivity between the different areas of forest and river so that the animals and the plants that migrate and spread and reproduce are able to find their partners.
The Portland Bight Protected Area on the south coast has the largest intact area of mangrove forest in Jamaica. The wetlands and seagrass beds provide possibly the largest nursery habitat for sea life on the island. The Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation, CCAM, promotes sustainable development and coastal conservation in the Portland Bight area.
That includes communities from Hellshire in the east to just inside Milk River. So it includes places like Portland Cottage, Kemps Hill, Old Harbour Bay, Rocky Point, Lionel Town, and Salt River as well. Within the Portland Bight Protected Area, there are a number of important flora and fauna. Some of those include the iguana and the crocodile, as well as other plant species. There are a number of other important and special things that are within Portland Bight and not within the rest of Jamaica.
In the Dominican Republic, key biodiversity areas support the full range of Caribbean ecosystems and populations of 50 globally threatened species.
Bauruco es uno de los hotspots más importantes que tiene la República Dominicana. Otra de la gran importancia que tiene la Sierra de Bauruco es que pertenece adentro de la Reserva de Biosfera. La Reserva de Biosfera está constituida por 3 parques nacionales, el Parque Nacional Jaragua, el Parque Nacional Sierra de Bauruco y el Parque Nacional Lago Enriquillo. Y es un lugar donde la biodiversidad y los diferentes ecosistemas de la isla confluyen, siendo la primera reserva de biosfera en la República Dominicana.
Parque Nacional Montaña Lomeadora es muy rico en biodiversidad, forma parte de lo que es llamado un corredor de biodiversidad que se ha llamado Región Fitogeográfica Casabito, desde Casabito hasta el sur, casi hasta el Parque Luis Quinn. En la zona hay muchas plantas endémicas, fundamentalmente, porque es una zona muy lluviosa, prácticamente la zona donde más llueve en el país. Muchas riquezas en plantas adaptadas a estas condiciones de lluvia y con algunos endemismos locales. En fauna hay el reporte de algunas aves importantes, hay nidificación de cotorra, de perico dentro del parque y poblaciones que se están monitoreando de los anfibios de la familia Ilidae que son endémicos del país.
But the fragile ecosystems of the islands are under threat.
We're currently on the Little Goat Island, which is next to the Great Goat Island. The Galleon Harbour Fish Sanctuary is in between and surrounding both of the islands. It is of importance because of its flora and fauna. In particular, right now we're talking about some of the mangrove areas. Some of the persons going to the mangroves are removing the mangroves without permits and without replanting.
Fish them there or Goat Island around them barn and run. No fish no left from foreign now we come in a Goat Island. Cause Goat Island surrounding like a pond. The whole of them the fish that breed up around there. So around the way as the little skull boat man, small engine man we can't go out in the deep. Around there we fishing. You understand? So them try to take a Goat Island for a boy, we don't know, it's terrible.
If we look at the planning policies within Jamaica, sometimes we're saying that a development is more important than conserving the environment, and sometimes the trade-off is not sufficient to conserve what it is that we have.
If they were to look at bauxite mining or limestone mining as potential areas of revenue generation for the state economy, then that would result in a policy that allows for prospecting licenses to mine. And if people came and found bauxite in the unique locations in Cockpit Country, anything in there that is part of the species population would be destroyed.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker.
Being technician.
Animator.
Empowerment.
Career moves. Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
In Haiti, 99% of the original forest cover has been lost, leaving unique species at risk in key biodiversity areas.
Forêt des pins son concept pour lui environ 78. Son côté nous avons 32 000 hectares. Parce que là où c'est nos zones tampons, mais couvrir des toits là pour attaquer forêt. Ça veut dire qu'on ne peut pas faire 2 minutes là pour attaquer forêt. Ça veut dire là nous préparons forêt. Pour nous des toits là, on a forêt des pins. Forme de ça et kounya là et dans détruire des forêts là kounya là t'absente au frise là. Ça a l'intention de détruire des forêts et forme de ça dans 32 000 hectares de terre kounya là pas qu'à joindre 6 000 bien reboisés dans terre. Parce que ouais, spécialement kounya là où t'as prêté là t'as dans bouillir. C'est fait bois peur. Et spécialement ça rend que et les comme ça tout nous on l'appli et ça rend que nous avons désolosement en pile mais rêve nous objectif nous comme nous même en tant qu'organisation c'est à reboiser forêt des pins mettre dans soin qui était arrivé et démobiliser forêt des pins déboisement qui part était nous bien pour communauté.
On dirait que ça arrive souvent tout le temps parce que forêt a yo envahi yo et mon sorti de l'autre côté qui vient envahir forêt pour faire jardin. Ça veut dire ça arrive très souvent nous joindre à couper bois, à faire jardin dans la forêt, à craser forêt. Parfois nous parlons avec eux ça pour arrêter m'arrêter.
Toute espèce de bête mais à cause de déboisement yo détruit. En gros, nous avons une série de formes de détruire les musiciens. Leur passer en dedans forêt à son plaisir pour les musiciens ça va chanter mais nous avons habillé les comme ça là tant que les gens en température alors nous avons mis à chanter mais à cause de nous venons perdre nous sommes obligés à vivre sur le territoire dominicain.
Las amenazas que tiene Sierra de Bauruco son varias. Estas amenazas son varias, principalmente la extracción de maderas, la realización de carbón, la recolección de pichones de cotorra. Hemos podido disminuir estas amenazas prácticamente en un 80%.
La situación en el Parque Nacional Sierra de Bauruco, en la frontera especialmente, pues era totalmente caótica porque usted podía contar hasta 30 y 40 hornos de carbón a la orilla del camino. Pero después de llegar a la Sociedad Ornitológica, el proyecto, a este lugar pues ha ido disminuyendo con el apoyo que ellos nos han brindado.
Conversion of the forest for agricultural purposes is also a threat to biodiversity.
La humeadora tuvo muchos problemas desde el punto de vista de agricultura, de extracción de madera y siembra, sobre todo agricultura para la siembra de café y en gran parte ganadería.
A farmer will be farming on one plot for a year, 2 years, and fertility of the soil decreases for whichever crop he or she is planting. And one of the first considerations is to shift the production from one location to a new location. So in shifting, he's removing all of that forest cover to facilitate his agricultural production. In so doing, he's removing the biological diversity. He is shrinking the size of the forest overall.
In Haiti, local organizations are educating the community on the impact of deforestation and engaging them in reforestation efforts.
Nous-mêmes qui ça nous fait en tant qu'organisation, c'est mobiliser les paysans, aider aux formation, et que tant que j'en vois ce là, quand on est arrivé là, quand là, on va gagner en pile chassé, c'est reproduire puis boire au conseil qui importance gain. Et c'est celle site là nous-mêmes, c'est celle ici avec qui va mieux ici où vient tirer ça, c'est barre formation, aider aux former, dire qui importance et nous changer tout comment formuler nous avec rendre déboiser détruire dans qui état que nous venir en tant qu'organisation et
l'organisation par exemple c'est au BATV, nous faisons reboisement, nous plantons bois, nous faisons formation avec l'organisation, dans l'église nous faisons formation pour nous expliquer ça comment on pied boyer, combien de monde il aussi. D'après l'environnement des concours.
Nous coupons bois tout.
Oui.
Parce que nous vivons dans une zone, nous pas gain réchaud gaz, nous pas gain réchaud courant. C'est avec bois, nous couper, nous servir, nous faire manger. Et lit tout, nous faire caille, nous rester parce que nous pas gain des fois pas gain quantité de pour acheter fer, pour acheter aussi pour construire un caille. Là, là où il y a besoin de pied, vous coupez un pied, vous faites poteau, vous faites porte-caille, vous faites chambon là dans l'air, vous restez.
Et nous essayons de planter.
Nous essayons de nous planter.
Dans l'organisation femme, moi juste, moi demande mesdames, pas couper pied bois, pas quitter messieurs yo ba yo casé. Parce que une activité bois pain. Mesdames yo transmettre à Port-au-Prince. Gek dans organisation. Et là m'a fait formation, là m'a rentré dans concession, m'a dit côté grand papa nous yo va aller. Yo dit oui, me dit bon n'a vendre chandelle. Si n'a vendre chandelle là, c'est comme si c'est mon nan k'ap caser ba non, c'est nous voyer le caser. Ou pas aller, mais de pour voir un monde c'est où qui cause. Vous comprenez? Mesdames yo cible yo non pas couper pied bois tout, mais yo manqué sensibiliser.
Pour y aller nous venir dans nos pays nous était kounya d'après la d'accord ça. Et kounya nous tenons noir kounya nous dans lumière. Nous une organisation kounya nous consacrer les fruits, le reboisement, nous connaît environnement. Inspiré pour nous.
Qui ça nous devait faire? C'était jouer une sémence. Jouer nos moyens au projet qui a projeté nous, demander nous pour nous faire reboisement. Et nous avons fait avec Timoun l'école. Ça te porté attention, je m'a créé l'école, ça me déroulé le des verres de Carole. Moi j'aime ça créer et moi mes pieds bois en pile, moi mes environnement.
In the Dominican Republic, local organizations join forces with international agencies like the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, CEPF, to improve the management of key biodiversity areas.
Al inicio del proyecto con el CPF solamente había un administrador y ahora ¿qué tenemos? Tenemos 14 personas que están trabajando en el área protegida distribuido en todas partes, es decir, en las 3 provincias y en los 5 municipios que bordean el área protegida. Esos guardaparques, además de la formación que tienen, tradicional, formal, del Ministerio de Ambiente, conozcan el vínculo y la importancia de trabajar con las comunidades.
Y yo soy inspector general de caza y pesca. Trabajo también en medio ambiente. Yo cuido las aguas, las aves, los árboles. Yo aquí no pueden pasar con madera por ahí, no, porque parece ahí. ¿Dónde las cortaste? ¿Qué pasó? Eso tú sabes. Si tumbamos esos palos, esos árboles, los tumbamos todos, las aguas se secan las aguas. Y aquí nosotros somos ricos de agua. Ya la gente ha creado conciencia.
La juventud se ha visto muy interesada y con muchas ganas de ser partícipe también y de lograr una diferencia en cuanto a la gestión y que yo estoy haciendo por cuidar mi medio ambiente, que al final de cuentas es de lo que yo voy a vivir.
Esos jóvenes van a llevar luego mañana en su conciencia las cosas que deben hacer sobre los recursos naturales y que no deben hacer.
¿Quién es la biodiversidad?
Nosotros mismos. Una de las estrategias que he diseñado ProNatura para construir la sostenibilidad de los procesos es trabajar con las escuelas. Trabajar con las escuelas, con los maestros, con los directores y con los niños. Los niños ayudan a que otros niños se comuniquen entre sí, puedan hablar de qué es eso de la biodiversidad, qué es eso de la humeadora.
Nos dijeron de la humeadora, que cómo era, y nos dijeron también, y eso fue muy lindo, y nos dijeron también que si nos gustaría aprender a hablar con cámara, y nosotros dijimos que sí y nos enseñaron.
Tuvimos lo que fue tirándole la foto a las plantas, a los animales y a las flores. Estuvimos trabajando con la universidad y la montaña humeadora, que es un parque donde la nube nunca se aleja.
Cuando CPF patrocina a estas casi 19 proyectos y un tanto como más de 12 organizaciones aquí en la República Dominicana, estamos promoviendo de que la gente conserve para sí misma. La gente está hablando, trabajando, dialogando y viendo cómo consiguen soluciones en conjunto para la conservación de la biodiversidad.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look, but you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is a play.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
I am Jackie Tyson, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
The Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation, CCAM, assists members of the community to engage in income-generating activities through alternative livelihoods so that they can continue to survive in a changing environment.
We have had conservation officers and worked with the community to create fish sanctuaries, and therefore we are increasing the catch for the fishermen in the future. We're also working with other persons in terms of doing environmental education. We're also doing a certain level of climate change education as well. We have done a number of mangrove restoration projects. We are also in the process of building a wetlands interpretation center in Salt River. We had some funding from the National Environment and Planning Agency, and we have trained some of the fishermen along with some community persons as tour guides and as boat operators. And what we're seeing is that there are a number of visitors who have never seen the crocodile, and they will pay money to come on boat tours to see crocodiles and to have that experience. So we think that conserving them is an important way of improving their livelihoods.
In order to improve the biodiversity of the cockpit country, STEA seeks to decrease livelihood activities that are destructive while providing alternative income-generating opportunities for community members.
Well, this is a yam field. This is our yam field. This is where we do it. We use this method to stop the farmers from cutting a lot of stick from the cockpit here.
Yam production in cockpit country on the southeastern side, for the most part, on gentle to steep slopes. So we have mitigated by introducing the establishment of vegetative barriers across the slope to prevent the soil from running down. So we have done about 2,000 farmers trained in that method and provided technical assistance and material to about 400 farmers to engage in this kind of activity to mitigate against the erosion of soil, which is a part of what supports the biological diversity here. We have started an ecotourism program that is both ecological tourism and community tourism. And what it is it looks at caves.
Welcome to the Cockpit Country Cave Exploration. We are about to enter the subterranean world of the caving environment.
The Cockpit Country has about 300 of Jamaica's 500 caves. And we have made an attraction out of one cave. It serves several purposes. It provides an income for the community through the amount of people who are employed, who service the product or the attraction with many services. It provides us with some generated income to promote the conservation. And significantly, it allows us to demonstrate the appropriate way to access these kinds of communities safely so you don't reduce the populations in there of the bats, which are quite significant.
We actually do use our cave here at Windsor. We do use it for ecotourism. Okay, so this is the mouth of the Windsor Cave. It's the lower entrance, and it's one of the exits through which rat bats come out at night. It's quite small, as you can see, about 4 foot wide and 5 foot high. And even from here, I can feel the cool draft coming out. It's our local air conditioning unit. But you can see the vines and things hanging down. And quite often we get snakes hanging at the entrance of the cave too, trying to catch a meal for the night.
Franklin Taylor, also known as Dango, is the warden for the Windsor Cave.
I'm taking care of the Windsor Cave for many years. And I also take people to the Cockpit Country. If they want to hike to the mountain, I took them out there and take the best care of them and bring them back. Many years I'm right here, but I love to do my farming in the meanwhile. Yeah, this is the year what I work. where I cultivate my banana and plantain, yams, and chocho, and these are red peas. When I'm not farming, like I keep the road to the cave clean and see that the cave is okay.
The Cockpit Country Local Forest Management Committee allows the people of the Cockpit Country communities to take charge of their own environment.
Up at the southwest branch, we have a really good project going at Flagstaff, which is the Flagstaff Heritage Trail. It's a really important part of Cockpit Country's cultural history, because Cockpit Country was the home of the Maroons. Flagstaff is part of the economic sustainability of the local forest management committees, generating income for the people, but also giving some of the benefits to the local forest management committee itself for other activities.
Behind that over there, the British have a well that they build there. I am a tour guide. We have 14 certified tour guides from the TDPCO office here. This is the visitor center, which part we deal with our ecotourism system. We have this as a sustainable livelihood project to generate jobs, to graft to this instead of to graft to the forest. Because we have to keep the forest, sustain the forest and protect the forest, because it's our environment in which give us all our watershed and so many other little things.
Conservation is a sustainable way of life. You need to know what resources you have. There are some that are renewable, you can take them out and they come back. There are others, once you take them out, they're gone.
The Caribbean is a unique center of biodiversity, blessed with an abundance of natural resources, but threatened by the demands of a growing population. In Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, local groups encourage best practices and sustainable livelihoods, bringing people together to protect and conserve their environment.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4233.